was in TK Maxx the other day and found this book, The Science Behind Tea. Blah, 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 blah. So I was in TK Maxx the other week and found this book called How to Make Tea, The Science Behind the Leaf. It looked quite official. It says tea on it, so I thought I've got to pick it up. And I hadn't seen this before or heard of it, so I quite like the idea of it being the science behind it. I'm not a scientist, but I do find the molecular, chemically bits of tea quite interesting. So I picked this up. And I've been flicking through it. I haven't had a full read of it yet because I'm in the middle of a different book at the moment. But I thought, how interesting would it be? I don't know if you can be able to see that, but it's how to brew English tea. So I thought, why not do a video on how to brew loose leaf tea? So last week I talked about the basic differences between tea. So why not do how to brew one? So I've just boiled my kettle to 90 degrees and we're going to brew today Fortnum & Mason's afternoon blend because it's the afternoon. I just bought a piece of brownie at the Christmas market and I thought, what could be better to have with it? So I'm going to go work from the book as a bit of a guideline. So the book suggests weigh the tea, approximately 2 grams of tea to 240 millilitres, 8 fluid ounces of water. So I recently bought me some little scales and we can use them. There we go. Right. So what's that? 2 grams of tea. So if you are getting loose leaf in sort of these taller pouches, I do suggest getting a scoop like this. This actually was from some coffee, a cafetiere that I had, but I've used it for my tea now, but it's just a lot easier than a spoon because it has the actual depth to it. It just makes it a bit easier to get them out. So I will do there's 2 grams for that one. So I'm going to do it in two different ways. I'm going to do through an infuser basket. So essentially I'll just put it all in, try not to get it all on the side, which I have done. Oh, and that's the kettle keeping warm. And then we want, oh, that's too much. Probably would have been easier with a slightly smaller saucer, but live and learn. Right. So we've got the infuser basket, or we're just going to do them loose. And then, so for every 2 grams, 240 millilitres of water. So I have my very sexy measuring jug, so 8 ounces. And actually what I'll do is I'm going to use my timer as well. So I am doing this very officially and accurately. Not to say that you have to do it all the time. I don't do it all the time like this, but it just gives you a bit of a guidelines as to what is the best way to brew the tea. So if we put that on, I'm going to work with the 3 minute one. And do it again. Okay, that's just touching. I'm going to top that up a bit more. Oops, knocking everything over now. So I'm just moving this one up just so that the leaves can get in there. So lids on. So we're going to work with the timer and we will see how that goes.
So we'll cut and speed up from here.
though we're doing it the English way, actually, as is probably one of the more recent ways to brew tea. So there is, let me start from the beginning. So there's Gongfu Cha style, which is sort of the Chinese way of brewing teas, and I'm going to get myself a Gongfu set and we can do it like that. There's the Chinese way, and I think a lot of more the Asian way, primarily China and sort of Japan. The way that they drink tea is so respectful. They have a real ceremony with the tea, whereas here it's just bung a tea bag in a mug, squeeze it, and you know, add loads of milk and sugar. Not great. So I still love the fact that there's sort of this real revival of these old style brewing methods. And the interesting with sort of the Gongfu and Gaiwan style is actually you tend to sort of brew for shorter amounts of time, but you end up infusing the leaves for more times. So with these I might infuse 2, possibly 3 times, but sort of no more. Whereas with certain types of tea, if you're brewing sort of Gongfu or Gaiwan, it's actually you can end up brewing 6 or so times. I love the look of them and I do really want to try some of those. But I'm not going to talk about them anytime soon because I don't know. So I will sort of, whether I just get them and try them out and see how I feel that those go. But this book's really interesting because it actually tells you how to do it. It's got little pictures and instructions and history, which it's really good. So yeah, and it's for the English way that you've got it talks about the different types of teapots that you can get, and then the instructions. So tea times. Tea is the most popular beverage in Great Britain. Listed below are some of the ritual tea breaks that were taken historically. Some still occur today in some form or other. So we've got breakfast. Tea is nearly always served with breakfast, although there is an option for coffee. However, many people still like a cup of tea with milk in the morning. Oh, and their time's up. That sort of fits quite perfectly then, really, doesn't it? So I worked with the green one, so it's the lighter flavours. So what I'm going to do is take the basket out. I'm just going to put that to one side. And then, so we've got the leaves like that. And then there is also the way then to infuse. And normally that should work. Is the lid straining going to be enough? Yes, it is. Oh, and that's a perfect full cup. Excellent. And actually, that lid did brilliantly. The difference between the two is sort of almost the same. I don't know if they're going to pick up. This colour is a little bit darker. It's a bit more golden, sort of rich honey toned. And this one is a bit more yellow, a bit brighter. Got lovely, they're both lovely clear, clear and clarity though. I've made that with 8 ounces of water, so that fits just 1 cup perfectly. However, if I was doing more, in a way, I'd be more inclined to do it with the basket infuser, because with the basket infuser, you can actually take it out. So once I've done brewing, I'm fine to just take the basket out and then the pot's there and I'm in no rush to drink it. Whereas if it's loose in the pot like that, it's fine if I'm emptying the pot immediately. But if I had a smaller cup or a larger pot, or the pot was filled further up, then actually the liquor that's left is still infusing and still brewing. So actually then when you have your second cup, it's not as good, or it's a bit stronger. So I mean, it depends if as soon as the tea comes, you're filling your cup, and then so maybe your second one is stronger but it's not overbrewed, or if you're brewing for the right amount of time for your first cup, you're then going to have it to be overbrewed by the time you have your second cup. It annoys me when you go out to cafes, tea rooms or places, especially when they say they serve quality tea, and they come like this, and I have to end up asking for a second pot, empty pot, to infuse, to empty the infusing leaves or the infusing liquor into the empty pot, so that I've sort of stopped any more infusing and sort of stopped the process, which is a bit annoying. I prefer it when there's a basket in the pot and you can just take it out. It sort of is a lot less faffing around and you sort of feel like you're decanting from one to the other. But that took me from brewing to cup less than 5 minutes, so it's really not that hard to brew loose leaf. I have done a blog post already on the different ways of brewing loose leaf, but I just thought I'd go over sort of the two main ways that you can do it. I mean, it's really preference of how you want to brew, and I will go into Gong Fu Gai Wan and looking at other tea actual styles of infusion, sort of in terms of cultural differences. But for me, I find these ones the most preferable. I like having a pot. I don't feel then there's a rush to drink it. If it's in a cup in itself, you got to finish that tea, finish that cup quickly, because otherwise it's going to get cold. Where it's in a pot, there's a bit of heat retention in it. These glass ones are quite good, but I do like to put a, what they called, tea covers. Can't think of the name. The little hats that go over the top. Put those over the top, but it really makes a good cup of tea, and it's really not that hard to do it. So I hope this video has been a bit of help, of just a quick little guide to how to brew loose leaf tea. It's really not that hard, and it makes it so much more worth it in the end. I found I only have to make one pot of tea and I enjoy it, rather than having to make several cups of bad tea bags. So keep drinking the good tea, and I'll see you soon. Bye.